ZTE has been intent on getting rid of that hole punch, and the Axon 40 Ultra is their latest attempt at doing so. So how does their invisible camera fare this time around? What else is ZTE offering with their new flagship? Let's unbox and find out. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and if it's not too much of a hassle, drop this video a like and subscribe if you do actually enjoy it. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and open up the box. Once we do, we are greeted by the Axon 40 Ultra itself. Let's remove it from that plastic. We then have this black insert that houses the VIP card, a quick start guide alongside a soft case. Oops, almost missed it. It also has a SIM ejector tool. Next, there's a USB Type-C to Type-C cable followed by an 80-watt charger. And that's pretty much it for the unboxing part of this video. So what's the deal with this phone? What's actually unique? Well, the hidden selfie camera that's under the display. It's been improved since the last time around. Back then, that area on the display, we could see it be noticeably pixelated, almost as if some patchwork was done on it. And the selfie camera performance, it wasn't great. Here on the Axon 40 Ultra, one of those two issues has been fixed. Now last year, the display covering the selfie camera, that was around 100 pixels per inch compared to 400 for the rest of the phone. But here, that has also been up to 400 ppi, meaning it's very hard to notice that patch. Now here's the Axon 40 Ultra side by side with the S22 Ultra. I've always loved all-screen displays. Now guys, let me be clear, the S22 Ultra is still the better phone. The small little hole punch on it, it's never really bothered me, but there is just something about a phone that's all-screen that makes it kind of feel special. And it's not that it's just all-screen, not like that's the only selling point here. The rest of the display specs, or the entire phone specs for that matter, they're excellent too. Now let's start with that display part. Here we have a 6.8-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED panel, 1116 by 2480 pixels to be precise, making for a 400 pixels per inch pixel density. This is a fast panel with a 120Hz refresh alongside 360Hz touch sampling. It's got 100% DCI-P3 color gamut coverage with a peak brightness of 1500 nits, more than a lot of flagships we've been seeing recently. Additionally, we also get 1440Hz high-frequency PWM dimming to reduce the flickering in dark scenes. And we get an actual stereo speaker setup here, which happens to be quite loud. Add to it the fact that ZTE provides a whole lot of storage options, letting you go all the way up to 1 TB of storage. That makes the Axon 40 Ultra a seriously good phone for media consumption. Now, apart from the second speaker, we also get an IR blaster up top. The power and volume keys reside to the right. The left's clean. And to the bottom, there is the primary speaker, USB Type-C port, microphone, and SIM tray. Guys, I hate this microphone placement. Right next to the tray, you're one half a sleep moment away from sticking the SIM tool in the wrong place. It's almost happened to me a couple of times. Have you ever done that? Has it happened to you? Leave a comment. Now before we move on, a quick shout out to video sponsor Meze Headphones. Meze has a new pair of premium headphones in the Meze Lyric. Right from the packaging to the inclusion of 2 pairs of cables to the headphones themselves, this screams premium. The Lyric sports the MZ4 planar magnetic driver, which Meze has collaborated with Renaro on, just like they did with their previous flagship models, the Elite and Empyrean. The Lyric looks beautiful, sounds spacious, warm and lush, and despite being closed back, the sound's pretty wide. It's not particularly heavy at just 391 grams, and the combination of the wide headband and soft ear pads spread that weight very well. If top shelf closed back planar goodness is something that interests you, you need to check out the Meze Lyric. For more information, check the link in the description below. Moving on, the metal sides are complemented with a glass back that has a matte finish to it. It feels quite refined. The phone weighs in at a little over 200 grams. It feels more solid than bulky owing to the weight being spread evenly. It's also sleek, as in 8.4mm thick, despite which ZTE has still managed to cram in a 5000 mAh battery. Good stuff. Under the hood, we have Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 running the show. The few games I managed to test out, they ran smoothly with no issues. There's liquid cooling here, and they've increased the size of the vapor chamber by 140% since the last time around, so the temps should be kept in check. While the phone did get a little warm with consistent gaming, I don't feel it got hot. That said, some might find the curved display here to be distracting while gaming, especially since it does lead to unwanted reflections. It's a pretty steep curve, 71 degrees. To me, I'm a fan. I like how narrow it allows the phone to be. Also the fact that this is a 20:9 aspect ratio here, which has led ZTE get the Axon 40 Ultra to be almost 4.5mm narrower than something like the S22 Ultra, which also happens to sport a 6.8-inch display. Anyways, moving on, from a software perspective, we have what ZTE calls myOS 12 running atop Android 12, and the performance here is pretty smooth. Apps were rapid, quick to launch. Just going through the interface, everything felt smooth. The fingerprint scanner, which is under the display too, felt super responsive, and surprisingly, so did Face Unlock, even under low light conditions. Now, to improve the selfie camera performance, this time ZTE has gone with a 16 megapixel sensor, which is paired with an f2 lens. Now, remember how under-display selfie cameras have two issues? I mentioned that earlier, and one of those has been addressed. The other one, it's kind of sort of been addressed. I'm not saying no, but the results, they aren't still good enough. Now, this is a side-by-side comparison with selfies shot from the Pixel 6. Now, forget the Pixel 6. This is the Axon 40 Ultra compared to a Samsung Galaxy A23, a mid-range phone from Samsung. I mean, literally any selfie camera you've come across, even ones on budget phones in the last few years, they're gonna get you better results than what you will get from an under-display selfie camera. Now, this is not a knock against ZTE. It's just where the technology is as of today. The kind of muddy glow all over that we saw on the Axon 30, it still exists, and while I love how fabulous the screen looks and all that, the fact that this technology exists is great, and unlike other brands who've tried it out a little and moved on, I respect the fact that ZTE are still sticking to it, but all that doesn't change the fact that the actual selfie camera performance is subpar. The rear cameras though, now that's a whole another story. We have a triple camera setup here. The primary is Sony's new IMX787 sensor that's paired with the f1.6 lens with optical stabilization. Images are really good. This is 64 megapixels. They offer amazing dynamic range. We can also shoot 8K video at 30 FPS or 4K at 60 or even 120 FPS. We get excellent stabilization. And this continues with the secondary too, since ZTE has opted for the same IMX787 but with the f2.4 ultra wide. Given the same sensor, the colors remain very similar and the dynamic range impressive. This one has autofocus too, so can double up for macro if needed. The camera interface too is pretty solid with loads of options. ZTE has always shined in this regard, so not surprised that they have a lot of functionality built in here too. There is one area where I do have issues, and that's with the third camera. Now, that's not because the camera is bad, because it's not. It's a different sensor. They've not mentioned what it is, and that's okay. It performs well. It even has OIS. The images, they look pretty decent, right? This is 2.5x telephoto zoom, but my issue is with the fact that ZTE is marketing it as 5.7x. See how sneakily they mention 5.7x, but from wide angle to telephoto? That's low. Brands typically call the regular camera as primary and the ultra wide as secondary, but here ZTE is claiming both those sensors as primaries. This regular camera, it's a humanity primary and the other is a ultra wide angle primary. They're calling both primaries just to claim that the telephoto is 5.7 times the primary. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because I'm sure a lot of spec readers on YouTube and sites that enjoy copy pasting press releases will most definitely say, Dosto 5.7x optical zoom and all that stuff, which would be incorrect. Anyways, given the three 64 megapixel sensors, ZTE can actually shoot 8K video here via all three sensors, which I think is a first for any smartphone. If you can think of any other brand, any other phone that lets you do that, let me know in the comments. Also, ZTE's camera array includes a time of flight and flicker sensor. So guys, overall, ZTE seems to have put together an amazing smartphone here. The selfie camera performance is still not consumer ready in my humble opinion, but the rest of the Axon 40 Ultra is truly phenomenal. As of now, this phone is only available in China and starts at 5,000 yuan, which is a very competitive price for all that's on offer. I really wish they launched this in more markets, because though the selfie camera isn't all that, there's a lot on this phone, there's a lot that this phone actually gets right, and it's tech moving in the right direction, right? It's new, it's exciting, and I'm sure a lot of early adopters might actually enjoy the Axon 40 Ultra. So what do you think? If you had an option to buy the Axon 40 Ultra at this price, would you buy it? For that all-screen goodness, despite the subpar selfie camera performance, is this something you would consider? Once again, let me know via the comments below. And while you're down there, thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about this video. Also subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for watching. Until next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.